So today we're going to talk about a specific use case that we had also with Goldbeck together. But currently about us, we are a software company, and what we do is we provide a solution that helps to, at the end, prevent reworks on construction site by helping the people on site to build it correctly the first time, just quickly. And today, obviously, we're talking about bringing these BIM models to the site because it's a VDC forum. So, yeah, small introduction to our team. We are a team of 15 people located in Luxembourg, in Europe, one of the smallest countries worldwide. So we are like half the population now here. And the great thing is it's a cool team, very dedicated, also crazy. As you can see, it was a weightlifting competition, which is not very common probably for software companies. And we work with like all kinds of customers. So especially also with GCs, one of them is there obviously, and additionally with asset owners and with manufacturers, and they all share also the same problem because they have all to build. And obviously we work on many kinds of projects. Here are some selected ones because of the complexity that, let's say, our solution helps to solve. Obviously a lot of big projects, a lot of, let's say, pharmaceuticals and so on that are inside too. Thanks, Stefan, for doing this.
Okay, so some words about Goldbeck. So that's not me. It all started with him. So Ortwin Goldbeck, in his late 20s, he just finished his civil engineering studies, and he had the plan to disrupt the building industry. So he had the plan to introduce industrial production with prefabrication and a systematic approach to the industry. And therefore he founded the company Goldbeck 1969 in Bielefeld. It's right here in the northwestern part of Germany, or in the heart of Europe, you can say. Yeah, and this is one of our factories. So we have 13 factories in total, and this one is in Bielefeld. And we produce concrete parts like exterior walls, concrete pillars, or on this one, steel beams, or others like facades and doors and windows. And yeah, so we started as a steel manufacturer, and now we are one of the largest end-to-end provider of commercial real estate, still family-owned in Germany, or you can say in Europe. So with more than 11,000 employees and a turnover of about 6.5 billion US dollars. So the man in the middle, Ortwin Goldbeck, he is now 84 years old, still in the company. But he handed over the company 2007 to his 3 sons. On the right-hand side, Jörg Uwe, who is really number-focused, more the conservative guy. The second oldest, Joachim, who's not in this picture, started a solar company some years ago, so maybe not the worst decision nowadays. And last but not least, Jan-Henrik Goldbeck on the left-hand side. Yeah, our mastermind, our Captain Future, he named himself so on live on stage. And our biggest stakeholder here, yeah, in the valley. And yeah, some figures. So 2019 we acquired GSE, a French-based construction company, and last year the DS Groups, a Danish construction company, to get into the northern and southern European markets. Together with GSE and DS Groups, we realize 500 projects a year, and we also operate and maintain these buildings. Yeah, with GSE and DS Groups, we have over 100 branches all over Europe, and as I mentioned, 13 factories, and this little outpost here in the Silicon Valley. Some words about the team. So the Goldbeck US was founded 2019 by Jan-Henrik Goldbeck after a visit in the Silicon Valley and in Stanford, where he met Martin and Maximilian Schütz, who was a researcher and who is now our boss. Yeah, our task is to collaborate with our partners like CIFE or Autodesk to find new technologies and, of course, networking. This is our little compound in Menlo Park, and the team, Tim and Ruki, are focused on design topics, talk with Autodesk. Janis and Andre are focused on construction, sustainable materials, construction robotics, and I'm looking into operation and maintenance, smart building, and energy management. Okay.
Okay, so now back to the problems. Generally, just one question. Who of you has never experienced a site without any problems? Like, yeah, exactly. No, like it doesn't exist. Every site has an issue. And just generally about myself, and I will also explain now the problem with my naming. My name is Jan. It's written with a C, so it doesn't matter. What is important is I'm an architect by profession, and in my experience, I also experienced many times on construction sites, there are always problems. You will not avoid having problems on sites. And it comes from a multitude of topics. It will come, for example, at the beginning with, let's say, the construction managers, the superintendents explaining to the construction workers what they have to do. And they need to understand, based on 2D plans, what has to be built. And especially with MEP things and so on, it can get very complicated. And their mistakes happen. And additionally, to top it on, to put something on top of that, yeah, what happens is you have changes on site. That means the design changes during the construction phase because requirements change, because the asset owner wants to have different things done. So yeah, it gets never perfect. And all these things, as you all know, lead at the end to mistakes that are built on site. You cannot get it perfect. So you need to do something that works directly in real time on site. And we'll come back to that in a second. But that can solve at the end the problem that you will have with creating more rework and creating delays based on that. And there are some like horrific statistics actually, like if you think about how big the construction industry is and what it means is, for example, here in the US, you have around 4 to 6% of like each construction project that is like wasted on rework in terms of the volume of that project. And more than 14 hours per construction professional per week is like, that's 35% of like your weekly work that is just spent on that kind of topics. And that's a lot. And we all at the end suffer from this because like the construction industry can also be more profitable if you think about this. So the cost effect is huge. I mean, imagine you have a $100 million project, so you waste 5 million directly into trash. Yeah, a bit heavy. And currently, there are some technological, let's say, solutions that can deal with these problems. Some of you already use it, as some of the presenters shown also. But what is great is to understand we have our BIM models. And it shows actually intuitively what has to be built. So it can be used for explanation on sites. And at the same time, it can also be used to check on site what has to be built too, or what was actually like supposed to be done. And if we can bring it there, it kind of works. We have to overlay it. And this is actually where augmented reality comes in. So what is at the end augmented reality? It's actually like a method that you can use to overlay on site some information. And in our case, we are overlaying BIM data on site. So you can, first of all, maybe one click more. Thanks. So you can, first of all, place your model directly on the site. And in our case, we don't do it with QR codes or anything because that stuff looks cool, doesn't work because you need to prepare anything on site. So yeah, it's a bit time consuming and site people won't do that too often. So you're able to go to the site, you're able to overlay what you have to build or what was also built to check in another case and explain much better to the site workers what they have to do. They are under pressure, they don't have a lot of time, and they need to get stuff right directly. And because of this pressure, they will also make mistakes if they don't understand the design intent well enough. And that's where augmented reality actually helps. And additionally, if you come to the next step, it is that it allows you to, as you can see here, directly collect data from the site on an object-specific level. That means on a BIM object-specific level in our case, and bring the data back. So, for example, if you have a request for a design change, you can directly shoot it off from the construction site, assign the task, and send it back to the office so you know what to do. So that's what we do here. And there are some statistics that customers, for example, collected in comparison with the old workflows, and that's pretty interesting too, because you can directly see. And also there are other, let's say, companies that did similar, let's say, statistics about this, but it's interesting that it's always around this same, let's say, performance optimizations that you get, especially in terms of time. For example, the coordination with subcontractors, explanation to workers is around 75% faster. If you talk about the comparison of the like as built situation versus the model, you are also around 80% faster. And in the next step, if you talk about finding clashes or situations on site, like let's say missing openings on site, it's also around 79% faster in average. So there's a huge speed up in this, and we don't even discuss here now the rework that is avoided. There's not a lot of statistics that you can use for that, but that's a huge profit that you have there, and also the delays that are prevented by that. And with that, we're gonna come to the next slide, which is at the end just shortly what customers sometimes say about this. I just put some experiences there. You can see it's always like quality optimizations, time optimizations, finding mistakes. But before I give over to Stefan, one of the funny things we had once was a construction manager from Berlin. She really said it was the best experience she ever had, which is like kind of sad if you think about it. Like, shouldn't be the best experience you ever have that you use an AR tool, but yeah, it's a funny note on that.
Okay, so yeah, this technology tackles exactly one pain point from us. So at Goldbeck, we've been designing our buildings for more than 10 or 15 years in BIM models. And yeah, we put a lot of effort in these BIM models. And yeah, if we are finished with one, we create 2D and PDF plans or paper plans for the construction site. Or we have the 3D model in BIM 360, which is not really cool. You have not really good user experience, cannot really use it. So with augmented reality and Gamma AR, we are now able to see the model on site. We can fade in and fade out and can directly see if we have an issue or not. One other example, so the status quo is, if you think about measurements, you open your documents or plans on your PC, you do your measurements in this PDF files, and then you go on site and you do your measurements again with a laser or something else. And with Gamma AR, you go directly on site with your iPad, with your iPhone, open the app, locate yourself in the building, and then you can do your measurements right on your mobile device with an inaccuracy of less than 1 centimeter, I think.
Depends on a few factors, but later to that.
You told me. So we had no other chance to start in POC with Gamma AR. And we did that on a construction site last year. Was a remodeling project. You could see it on the first slide, I think, of Jana's presentation. In Bielefeld, a little high-riser, about 20 levels, I think. And we started with a use case. It was core drilling, so we want to check if all holes were drilled or if any were missing. And the results were very good, so the user experience was really great. And then we extended these POC for other construction sites this year in January. And Jana or Gamma AR were able to the word. We're able to have the same results as in the first POC, so really great results. And we collected all the data and the information from our 2 POCs, or 5 POCs, you can say. And then we prepared for a management decision last month. And with a good result, I would say, because we start the rollout in July 2023 on 4 construction sites, 25 construction sites, So some other use cases we have already in mind. So, of course, quality improvements and clash detection. Then the visualization of the BIM model for subcontractors, for customers, or for the site team. We can compare as planned versus as built. And we create an understanding, or can create an understanding for all stakeholders who are involved in the process. So, like our customers or subcontractors, worlds. And we already think about the next step. So we want also use the BIM model in our facility management. So after we handed over the keys to our customer, we have facility and property management, and one step before we have also the facility management who sets up our building. So we want to create a checklist configurator to create checklists and to adjust them if we want to set up these assets we have. So we want to have an asset-based setup in our BIM model, and we also create asset history in our BIM model if we set up these assets, and we can also use it for issue management and improve our data quality.
And generally, regarding our technical development that is to come for next 2 years, obviously we're gonna add some analytical features to the data. If you have data, you can analyze it, so that's great. And add more and more integrations. Currently, we are integrated into Autodesk, BIM Collab, and Procore. But there's more platforms that would make sense to integrate as we also work, as you are here already from all over the place, with a lot of companies worldwide. So it makes sense to add different, let's say, CDEs to that too. Generally, as Stefan mentioned here, one of the topics that is important for us is to be able to cover all the specific needs that you have in building projects. That means also not only the construction, but also the facility management. And that's something that we are exploring currently a lot with Goldbeck, which is great. And for our next steps, getting to doing the same basically for the infrastructural projects makes also completely sense. It's the same task that has to be done. It's just like a bit different data formats and so on, so we're gonna tackle that. And if you click on one additional times, like the interesting part will be also over the next 5 years, because there's a lot of, let's say, talks currently happening, obviously regarding AI and all these tasks, which is great, and it will help us a lot, I think, too. I think for us, over the next 5 years, what we should be able to achieve is having the basic setup that will allow people on site to always get it done right. So meaning understanding really the assembly process, defining what are the steps, and maybe actually checking it or defining it automatically, because as we all know, it's not that the designers can put all information that is necessary to do it automatically inside. It has to be kind of derived from the models too. And this automation task, I think, will help to, at the end, make construction better. Thanks.
Thank you.